Hey, this is Mark Merrill, formerly known as Johnny B. Bad, the bad man of World Championship Wrestling. And you are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. And if you're not listening to them, oh, it's going to be a blessing to teach you a lesson.
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Easy for me to say, take a week off. I botched my entrance. This week's episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler is brought to you by two guys who desperately need a haircut. My name is Tyler. I am joined, as always, by the one and only Mike. Mike, you and I have we're a couple.
This is the one time I couldn't find my hat too. The one time I need to cover this up, I couldn't find my hat.
We look like a pair of we auditioned for a Beatles cover band and we just could not get it together. We're looking rough today, my friend.
All right, man, let's get this going because I got things to do. I'm a busy man. We don't have time to be here for 2 hours, okay? So.
Oh my God. All right.
So let's keep this short and sweet. Come on.
First of all,
I'm business. You know how I do.
First of all, huge thank you to the Iron Man of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, Mr. Adam Contant, for filling in for me last week as I took a much-needed vacation up to a cottage up north. It was very relaxing for me.
And, we all know what it is. You stopped doing the Canada Day shows because you don't want far superior at them. You've handed them all to me.
I think the year that you took your shirt off midstream, I think that was where I was like, just don't think Canada Day shows are in my future anymore. Huge thanks to Adam. I texted you shortly after. I guess you guys done recording, and I said, "How did everything go, Mike?"
I told you I was honest.
You said it was good. We went a little long, but it was really good. And I will agree with you on all fronts. It was really good. And then I got home and checked the file, and I immediately text Mike and went 2 fucking hours. But then I did text you.
2 hours.
I did text you again, and I said I'm halfway through this episode, and it is flying by.
Yeah.
And it did. You guys did a great job. Except for your one botch, which I was very upset about.
I want to bring that to light. I want to talk about that. Adam mentioned something and I fully agreed with him, which makes it my mistake as well. But yes, when we make an error on the show, we always remedy it. But we did make a huge mistake. We talked about Canadian Stampede last week on the show. That did not happen at the Calgary Pavilion. So that was 100% on us. We apologize for that.
I remember I texted you and I was like, because it was right before you guys had started recording, and you said something about your list, and I said, if the Calgary Pavilion is not in your top 3, you're dead to me. It was. So that's good.
I laughed when I read that because that's exactly where it was. Right? It was my number 3.
I got to tell you, it's not very often I say this, but I pretty much, I think, agreed with your list.
And I texted you saying you're gonna love my number 7.
I did like that. That was a huge pop.
And you were like, yeah, I already hate it. But I knew you weren't expecting that. I didn't know what to put because there were so many. I could, like I said to you, I could have put the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton, and I could have put so many places, and I just didn't know what to put. So I thought,
like if we didn't do the cowbell
if there was
thing,
any place, if there was any time to use the cheat code, it was this. Well, no, if even if we weren't doing the cowbell thing, I was using the cheat code anyways. I was just going to put 49 Ferris Lane.
Hell yeah,
yeah.
I would have probably went with Cops Coliseum if we were doing like real stadiums. If you put a gun to my head, I mean, you could have done the X too, because like the X was used for a lot of big blow off shows.
But when Adam started listing off the reasons he would have put Cops on his show on his list, he kind of sold me on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamilton's gross though, so.
That's the number one reason it didn't go on my list.
So we got a packed show this week. I'm going to be counting down the top 7 face-painted wrestlers of all
Love
time.
this. I can't believe we haven't done this in 5 years. We
You
have
have
not done
a
this list.
you have a fun little SummerSlam game you want to play,
Yeah.
and we are going to hear from one of my favorite people on the planet, Pretty Ricky Wildy, as he's going to talk to us all about the Kill Ricky um, series
That
that
thing
he is
is
doing.
that thing is fucking picking up steam, man.
It is. But before we do that, I do want to talk about Sunday, August the 17th.
Hmm.
Counted Out with Mike and Tyler proudly presents Cowbell Championship Wrestling. I believe we're going to call it Hazy Days, but I don't know for sure if the marketing team has
I
that
didn't
yet.
say that last week because it's not on the poster.
So that is a saves the date.
Yeah.
The poster is to come, but I do want to talk about some of the great talent you are going to see on this show. Should we announce a match?
I was leaving that for you. I felt bad that I. Here's the thing. I debated whether or not to announce the show last week, but because I wanted you to be there for the announcement. But at the same time, I'm like, it's got to get done.
Got to get done, brother. Business is business.
Business is business. The save the date is out there. We have to do this. So I did it, but I'm like, I'm not making a match announcement. I'm going to leave the first match announcement for you.
All right. Well,
and
how about this
I
then?
thought that was important.
How about this? I'm gonna name some of the great talent on the show, and then I'm going to announce one of our
I'm gonna name some of the great talent, and then you'll announce Danny Franchise.
yes, Danny franchise, the prima donna. He says that he's
Oh,
not stepping foot in the
the
ring.
big timer.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not stepping foot in the ring unless we put all the titles on him, and that he will not be no job, no job.
You know. No baby oil.
Well, let's start with a big one that I'm really excited for. You guys know that I am a tag team wrestling guy, and I am very proud to say that we are going to be joined on August 17th at the Cowbell Brewery in Blythe, Ontario, by one of the greatest tag teams in North America right now, and that is McCray Martin and Junior Benito. Fresh Air will be live August 17th, the Cowbell Breweries. We are also going to see great talent like Van Landen, Travis Moore, KPK.
Well,
Isaiah.
this is where I disagree with you. You said when you said one of the greatest tag teams in North America, we're going to be joined by at least two of the greatest tag teams in North America, if not three of the greatest tag teams in North America. This is stacked, man.
We have a
KPK's
stacked
got to
card.
be in that conversation.
KPK will be on the card. The Ring Truck crew will be on the card as
Mm-hmm.
well. But let's talk about a huge matchup we are going to see. And I think it's really fitting that this guy is going to be on our card because he's kind of a day one counted out guy as well. A lot of the people on this card have been with us on counted out since day one. You know, I look at a guy like Travis Moore
Yeah.
and the hot stepper McCray Martin, very early guests of counted out, and somebody who made their Barry Wrestling debut the same time that Counted Out made their Barry Wrestling debut is Myung Jae Lee.
Not
He is
only that,
going.
but he was the guest on the very first ever live edition
Yes,
of Canada.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can officially confirm that Myung Jae Lee is going to be going one-on-one in Blythe, Ontario at the Cowbell Breweries Sunday, August 17th against Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling superstar El Reverso. It is a first time ever matchup between the
Yeah.
two. They have only competed in a triple threat match once, I believe. So first time ever, you're going to get Myung Jae Lee from Buffalo, New York against El Reverso, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling superstar.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about this show too is that we have people from Canada, the United States, and Australia going to be on this show as we have Kingsley
Kingsley.
is signed for the card as well. So just some fun stuff there. We will announce a couple more matches over the next couple weeks, including
love
a
to-
huge tournament. Stay
What-
tuned.
One of the cool things about the show is we're able to put not only people that we respect as professional wrestlers and amazing talent on the show, we're able to put people that we respect as people in our personal lives, friends. I make jokes, but Danny has been one of my best friends for over 20 years. So to put him on a show is extremely special to me. But then we have guys like Young Jay Lee, who we do consider a friend. Van Landen has become very close to us. And there's a few guys that maybe we'll leave as surprises that we talk to in our personal lives and have been very helpful for the show, not because it does anything for them, but because they respect us and they like us and they like our show. So the people we've been choosing to put on this show is very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. If you guys want more information, check out Cowbell Breweries. We are very happy to be working with them, and we're going to keep announcing matches as the weeks go by. So,
And
one man,
this is all part of Cowbell Brewery's first ever beer festival. So come, bring some chairs, sit, drink some beautiful beer from Cowbell. You can taste all that stuff that they're going to have as part of the festival and enjoy some shows, man. It's going to
that's
be a
right.
great day.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fantastic day. I'm very excited about it. One man that I really wish that could have been on this card, but unfortunately he had a prior booking already, which is not surprising because he is incredibly talented and very busy these days, is one Mr. Pretty Ricky Wildy, who I believe this is his fourth appearance on Count It Out now, which is tying
Ooh, he's got
Bronwyn
the tie with
Billington.
Bronwyn.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
believe he's a tied with Bronwyn now, and right underneath a couple of our three-peat guests. I believe
Come on, TJ, you got to pick up, man.
TJ is a
Let's go,
three-peat
TJ.
guest. Jimmy Corderas is a three-peat guest, which we haven't aired his third interview yet, actually.
Is I believe is Myung Jae Lee a three-peat?
Myung Jae Lee is like a 2.5 Pete because
Okay.
we did like an interview with him.
Yeah.
We did something with him that wasn't on Counted Out. It was like a Barry Wrestling preview. And then we did the
Oh,
live
okay.
show with him. And
Yeah.
then we did like a second part of the live show. So like he's technically a four-peater, but
Yeah,
not
I would
official.
count it as a three-peat.
He's not an official four-peater, but
No, no, he's not a four-peater.
he will be. But yeah, Pretty Ricky Wildy, he's gonna I sat down with him before the last Barry Wrestling show and we talked all about his new project, Kill Ricky, which I am going to let him tell you all about
I
right
love it.
now. All right. Counted Out fans. Look who we have here. One of my favorites, back for the fourth time, I believe. I think you've just tied Bronwyn Billington for most appearances on Counted Out.
Thank you for having me.
You know him as one of the most entertaining professional wrestlers in all of Ontario. Need I say North America? But we also know him now as the host, and we're going to let him describe more about it. Kill Ricky is taking Ontario by storm. Of course, I'm talking about Pretty Ricky Wildy. Ricky, thank you as always for being here. Let's get right into it. What the hell is Kill Ricky?
Thank you for having
Do
me.
you know what it is yet?
We're definitely still figuring it out. Can I ask honestly, is this the first time we've done this in person as a podcast?
This is the second in person.
Second time. The first time we ever did it was in person.
We've done one on Zoom.
Yeah.
For the Holden Arthur show.
Yeah.
We did a second one in the room over here, the audio room in Barrie.
Makes sense.
Where we were promoting the Brampton show you were doing for the fundraiser for your friend, I believe.
Yep.
And then we had you at Brantford. Sorry. Oh my God.
No worries.
I'm not good at my job.
Come on now.
That's why you're here, Ricky, to
Come
keep me in
on.
line. And then we did another one where we talked about early '90s wrestling.
Yes, for sure.
And now we're back again to talk about Kill Ricky.
It just feels so nice to be able to do this in person.
It's nice. I'm not used to doing them in person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Am I looking here at our people? Am I looking at Ricky? I'm gonna do a little bit of both, maybe.
If I'm being honest, the camera in front of us is showing me myself, and I'm having a hard time not just staring at myself as I'm doing the podcast. I'm a bit of an egomaniac, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. In terms of podcasting, I've tried 6 or 7 different podcasts in my life, and it's never quite figured it out, in terms of me getting the mojo, figuring out exactly what the product is, how to differentiate myself in the marketplace. Kill Ricky all of a sudden has kind of fallen into my lap, and it's the #1 wrestling live podcast in the world. It's tremendous. It's an idea I've had for 6-7 years probably, and I was never really going to get it off the ground. And then Shane Saber stepped in and said, "We're doing this," and we've turned it into a real thing here in Ontario. So I dig the heck out of it. The best way I can describe it is pressure cooker wrestling. It's a chaotic talent show. Essentially, any trained wrestler can put their name in the bucket. We draw 2 names at random. They have 1 minute in the ring to do whatever they want. And then we interview them. We try to find stars. And, the number one thing I try to get across to people is we are not looking to hurt these people. We are not looking to have them embarrass themselves. We are looking to find stars, and we will do that any way possible, which I think is pretty evident in the way that I wrestle. Anything that it takes to be a star is what it's going to take in this business to differentiate yourself. We are figuring ourselves out in that sense. So Kill Ricky is a chance, A, for people who might not be getting booked to get onto a show and be able to show their platform, or B, for people who are a little more experienced, are getting booked, to be able to do something with a little less maybe pressure, necessity of what they typically do, and being able to get outside of that box, or maybe just in the interview segment, being able to get themselves over. Like Clash Kincaid is a great example of that, where Clash Kincaid is a guy who is booked routinely, and yet he's out at Kill Ricky almost every episode, where he gets 5, 10, 15 minutes of promo time that then goes onto the internet, and people have been seeing, not only is he impressing everybody in the room who is a booker in operating different promotions around Ontario, but as well able to get that platform onto the internet where people are actually watching a 10-minute promo of getting yourself over. So we are trying to create a platform here. And you know what? It really dawned on me the other day. It's bizarre to say, and I almost I hate doing it because it ages myself. But there was a moment where Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, Del Bruno, Hacker, the like. These guys were the top names in Ontario. They were crushing the scene, and they wanted an opportunity and a stage and a platform for themselves to be able to work a great show with names from outside of Ontario, and then have that as a bridge and a link to go to other places themselves. And that's exactly what happened, and that's A1. And A1 has been such a healthy, unbelievable thing for the Ontario scene, as well as wrestling at large. It's been seen on multiple major programs and platforms. It's a tremendous independent promotion, but as well as it's create a healthy thing for the Ontario wrestling scene. So for us in this new generation, where who's at the top of the cards? And I'm not trying to be rude about this, and I hate even aging myself like this because wrestling does cycle through so quickly. But you're looking at a Shane Saber, a Gabriel Fuerza, Von Vertigo. You're looking at that group of people as the top of the industry, and not the industry, sorry, but of Ontario. I'm not trying to boast too hard here, but and I'm going to put myself in that category. I want to be clear about that. Yeah. And that is the entire team that's running Kill Ricky. It's me. Shane Saber is the executive producer of the whole thing, as well. We have Jimmy Franchuk is running the entire thing in terms of editing operation. He's a mastermind and has been really putting so much work into the product that you see online, and we cannot give enough credit to Jamie for that. Jeff from Shooting the Indies, not just the best photographer, but also he's running Northern Crown. He's part of the operation of how we run this thing. We have connections to pretty well every promotion in Ontario. We've been giving away bookings to every promotion in Ontario and beyond, and really trying to give something here to the next generation. So the opportunities are out there is the way that we're thinking about this. And good God, I don't know, in my head, if this opportunity was out there when I was 10, 15 years younger, I would have been there every single time, and I would have been capitalizing to a very serious degree. So the gauntlet is thrown down. Young Love, there's another kid who's he's been doing it a long time. He still came out to an episode of Kill Ricky and crushed it. He was guzzling down 12 eggs. That episode's out right now. It's the Christmas chaos carnage in a cage Christmas special for Kill Ricky. So please do check that out live on YouTube. But yeah, Young Love takes about 12 raw eggs and he drinks them down in the middle of the ring. So he's stepping outside of himself and he's making a name for himself. So do you think when I'm trying to put together cards, who do I want to book? I want to book the guy who I remember the most and who just impressed me. How often do you think a promoter messages me and say, hey, we got a spot, we don't have a guy, who can we get? And the first names on the top of my head are the people that are coming to Kill Ricky. Bruce Thunderstein is the first person I recommend to anyone because he has impressed every single time that he's come out. That kid has been booked literally everywhere across Ontario because of the impression that he's been able to make. And I'm not going to take credit for him because he's an unbelievable talent, but he shows up and impresses every single time. And we have been trying to get his name out as much as possible. For instance, Sean, why isn't Bruce Thunderstein here as a regular?
Try to get him, and he didn't beg. And I'm a reporter that likes people to beg, right? Are you?
We're recording.
We're recording here. Yeah, get in there.
Yeah. As you know, my ego won't allow me to book something. It's just like, hey, how are things? It's like, no, I want you to ask for a booking. I don't have to reach out, but I'm going to reach out. It's 11 years in the business almost. I'm going to reach out.
You know,
looking for more direction.
You know who you sound like, though. Eh? You sound like Aaron Rodgers.
I sound like, oh, yeah, I'm out of here. Bruce Understein rocks. I've seen his stuff.
He's
fantastic.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I will vouch for him. I still want him here. I understand. These things happen.
So that's what I love that you're doing, though, Ricky. This whole thing, this whole Kill Ricky, it's giving this next generation these bookings. It's helping them earn these bookings, right? Yeah. You're giving this platform. All these promoters are here, and how many times I follow the Kill Ricky social medias and I watch it. You know, Kincaid got booked on this show because of this appearance of Kill Ricky. Yeah. We're seeing, you know, this new the New Wave Wrestling School now. Yep. I'm feeling a theme with you guys, and I'm going to call you guys the veterans, even though you're not old, but you're the veterans of the Ontario scene right now. It's the giving. It's the giving back. That's scary or what?
Oh, it's wild.
I turned 41 on Monday. I feel scared right now. Yeah. But to see you
young
guys,
whippersnapper, come up now.
That's it. The best years are still to come. Right? I get salt and pepper coming in a little bit here, and I'm embracing it. But I love seeing like the wrestling that you guys are doing give back to the community now, and I think that's so important. And it feels very welcoming and loving. Mm-hmm. And I love that it makes you guys think outside the box now. So if you get pulled out of this bucket, because it's very similar to the Kill Tony concept.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. We're stealing it entirely. We're stealing it entirely. Yeah.
So, you know, as you said, you pick the name out of the bucket, you have your minute match. You really get to showcase after the match, though. This is where people get to show their personalities, right? And, you know, I think they learn just as much from not hitting a home run as they do when they hit the home run, because they go back to the drawing board. Yes. And you have people like Josh Alexander, who has been a coach, Shane Saber, yourself, Nug, I believe, was one of them there, right?
Yes.
All these people have such great minds for business. You're getting instant feedback. Where else are you going to get something like that, right?
We've had every promoter involved with this show, like, you know, shout out to Pro Wrestling Eclipse. They've given us bookings. Shout out to C4, because I know that the promoter is watching what's going on at Kill Ricky. He talks to me about it. So, like, guys, the platform is there. You know what I mean? Steve Brown, who runs NSW and GCW, big secret. He's been on the show and watches routinely. You know what I mean? So, like, these are the opportunities that are around. These are the opportunities that we're giving out, and we have that platform. Not to mention the Josh Alexanders, the Jody Threats that have been on the show or watching the show, are involved with it, and are on, you know, national, worldwide platform. So, like, guys, this is actually a thing that we're creating there. So it's wild to me that I'm kind of at the helm of this thing, because I didn't expect that. But it is just like, it's a fun idea, and people, when they see it, they can't help but fall in love with it. Ricky Shane Page has been talking to me about it from the moment I announced it. So, like, people are watching, people are aware of what's happening out there. So I don't know. I was on a show in Michigan the other day, and the talent relations manager of TNA was there, and he made a reference to somebody else about my gimmick, meaning that, like, he's watching everything, you know what I mean? So it's literally all seeable. That's why even something like this, is it necessarily that Vince McMahon's going to watch this? Maybe not. Maybe he's busy. I don't know. But, like, everything online is seen. Everything in these little rooms are seen, even without a camera. You know, you never know what the connections are going to be, what that moment's going to be. So if I get the chance to be in front of 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000 people, it's always a chance to make a connection. And admittedly, the crowds are not big at Kill Ricky. We would love for more people just to come out and hang out. That really is the idea of the show. But, you know, the opportunity to be seen by, again, every promoter, booker, and an operator within wrestling, the guys are at least all watching it. So get yourself over to the scene. These are options.
YouTube, go wide, right?
We're trying our best. We're trying.
And when you say, like, anybody can come put their name in the bucket, you have to be trained, obviously. You have to be greenlit. Like, let's be safe, but you mean anybody, and you got kind of a bunch of people talking at that last show here. By the time this comes out, I don't know when you're releasing that, but
okay,
if it's being released.
Here's the problem with all that. We have like 6 episodes stockpiled because, you know, if something ever were to happen, we want to have something to fall back on, that we're not just like hand-to-mouth content. And I've learned that through, you know, doing that in the past. So we wanted to have a little bit of a stockpile. So we're, again, like 6 episodes behind. And you can follow that on the highlights on my Kill Ricky Instagram. So you can figure out what happened on that episode. But again, only the ones that are released. I'm releasing them in order onto YouTube. Anyways, we are also not at the point where we can release it like every week. I don't even like the idea of every other week, just because it feels like we're not recording that often, and B, it's if they're not if we're not telling people to remember a schedule of every Monday it's coming out, then it's going to come out before we're filming it, and that's the idea. So we released one last week, and it's coming up on Wednesday, June 11th. Whenever this comes out, we're going to be filming our next one at the New Wave Wrestling Academy and trying out that new venue. So the last episode that we filmed to Kill Ricky was at Battle Arts. I want to be clear, it is hopefully not our last episode at Battle Arts, because we still have a pretty good relationship with the building. Santino trained me. I love that place, so I hope there's no problem there. But yeah, we had the Iron Spartan was on the show, and things got out of hand. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I've seen the footage. I was there live entirely, and I will give you the inside scoop because no one's asked me the question on the camera before. But what a time to cut me off! That's unbelievable. What a time for the cutoff.
A Barry Wrestling intro on fire.
I mean, it's a good video, but this is a brutal time for this.
I thought this video was better when they kept my Van Landen voice in there. Not just me personally, but I'm an egomaniac as well.
It's getting even louder. It's just got me getting beat up. What's going on?
It's not a good look for both of us.
This is crazy.
Well, I mean,
all right,
they may not try to edit that. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. If they can still hear us rambling, I'm going to keep that in.
Fair enough. All right, back into it.
We got the inside scoop. That's the cliffhanger.
Thank you. It was beautiful. Anyways, having watched it back, I'm worried that I was a little bit mean to the Iron Spartan, and I shouldn't have been. So he definitely did flip out and started screaming and ranting, and that's not the format of the show. It has to be an interview, but I think there is some reality that I was cutting him off, and I wasn't listening, quite frankly. Now, I don't think it even shows up on the tape, but there was like a full active gym going on at that time, which we were told the gym was empty and we could film whenever we wanted. And then there was like active classes going on that were really making it hard for people to hear. So distinctly on the tape, you can hear Brett Myers like giving me cues and telling me to go a certain place. And I'm just like, I'm acknowledging it, but I'm not listening at all. And I'm moving forward with it. So honestly, I'm worried that I didn't give him a fair shake. But he came out, he more or less ranted and raved. And, honestly, I would have loved for it to have been directly into camera. I would have loved to have gotten to the heart of what he was talking about, but we didn't exactly get there, unfortunately. So hopefully down the road we can figure something out. Now, the interesting part is that I continuously said, like, hey, I'm trying to get you booked here. And his response was, don't worry about it. I'm not here for the booking. And it's like, okay, so he's not here for the booking. I don't know if that's just he's here for the platform, which, like, I honestly think he gets more views than we do. So I don't think that's a huge thing. So it's hard to say in that manner. But ultimately, I would like to get to I would like to get to know what the heck is burning him, because he seems very upset with Battle Arts and with the management there. But it's like, what we're doing on this show has nothing to do with that. So unless you're like upset with us, and if you're upset with us, that's kind of a separate thing. Again, there was multiple different arguments. I think the guy is a little mixed up, but also very misunderstood. And I do worry that I was mean to him when I really shouldn't have been. And I want to chalk that up to me being excitable, to me being fired up, to me kind of recognizing the situation that it was the Iron Spartan, and he's not somebody who plays ball with the rest, so you don't really know what's going to happen there. Plus, he did have a shoot fight with Donovan, so I was in a mood by the time the interview started. I guess no one's seen it, so I should explain that. Yeah, they got into it. Donnie was trying to have a wrestling match, and Spartan was deciding that he was going to be the big tough guy and kind of just try to beat up Donnie a little bit. Now, to be fair, it's like the 6th time that's happened to Donovan on Kill Ricky, so that does keep happening. I mean, to some degree. One time he got pants, and then he started fighting the guy, and like, sometimes you bring it on yourself, sometimes energy brings it back to you. I don't know how to describe that. So I will say honestly, though, because Donovan asked me after the episode, that was an honest bucket pull. I will say that twice in my time as hosting Kill Ricky, I think we're like 10 episodes in. It's crazy. I have worked the bucket. I have pulled a name and went, I don't think this is safe, and I've kept it out. We now do waivers, and we're well past that. So anyone and everyone and beyond that is entirely legit. In terms of Donovan, I have never accidentally pulled him. Sorry. In terms of Donovan, I've never worked that gimmick pull. I just want to be clear about that.
That's awesome. And you threw up at Kill Ricky?
Yeah, I projectile vomited on an episode of Kill Ricky. Man, biggest mistake, biggest regret at Kill Ricky so far. I was Knew it was happening. They wanted me to throw up in the bucket. Not going to do that. It's my own property. Got up, started running. Shane Saber pushed a garbage can in front of me, and I bolted past him into the men's washroom to projectile vomit into the garbage can. Into the toilet. I should have projectile vomited into that garbage can.
That was my next question. Did you at least get it on camera?
No, it wasn't on camera. It wasn't on camera, and that was the mistake. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're learning on Kill Ricky still too.
We're
right?
all learning out there, absolutely, and that is something I am free to admit that. Like, can we turn that music down? Sorry. Thank you.
I didn't think that would actually work.
This is an opportunity for myself. I have an hour, you know what I mean? Again, I've tried other podcasts, and me just in a free-flowing forum, it's like I get bored of it myself. In this format, we're having some fun out there, and I get it. And I do think as a host, I make a lot of sense. I get it. But, I'm sitting there for an hour with Josh Alexander. So, like, you don't think I'm seeing that as an opportunity to promote myself, to take that moment as a host. So we're all learning. We're all trying to advertise ourselves. That's why I'm saying, guys, you have to, like, go and set up a ring and be at a whole to-do when you have a wrestling show on the weekend. This is during the week. Yeah. You just show up. You're on the show. That's it. And then the opportunities are out there. But, people are willing to capitalize on it. And, the gauntlet has been thrown, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, bring it on. Everybody get out to Kill Ricky. Ricky, tell everybody where they can find Kill Ricky. Subscribe on YouTube, right?
At Kill Ricky Show, I believe, on everything. If you type in Kill Ricky, I'll likely come up, but throw in at Kill Ricky Show on all your social medias. Follow us there. I'm also at Pro Wildy. That's PROWILLDY. And you can also find Kill Ricky through that. There's a whole lot going on there. We're having nothing but fun. I'm enjoying the heck out of myself.
And I have nothing but fun every time you're on Count It Out, Ricky.
Thank you for having me here.
4 times the charm.
4, baby. Come on now.
Got to get you on for 5. You got to break the record.
We're going for 40. Come on now.
Oh,
we have plenty to go.
Absolutely. As soon as I heard about this Kill Ricky project, I knew I had to have you on to talk about it. I'm glad we waited till a couple were filmed.
Yes.
Because now the people can know what to expect. You've heard it right from the horse's mouth here.
I'm learning myself.
All right. So again, Pretty Ricky, thank you so much for joining us on Count It Out. Check out Kill Ricky. Everybody.
Again, Pretty Ricky Wildy, what a character. I didn't edit any of that interview as well because I just thought it was so funny when the music started playing and he's yelling at everybody. I just thought, it's Pretty Ricky. He's the best. And I said to Ricky before that interview, I said, hey, man, I'm just going to let you talk because, this is your baby. And I'm just here to kind of, ask a question or two periodically if you need me to. And I'm just going to let you go crazy. And I barely spoke that entire 20 minutes. It was fantastic. I love talking to Ricky. He gets it. Ricky gets it.
I love Ricky. Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to hear him break down that controversial Spartan thing that happened. So that was cool to hear as well. I don't think he's spoken about that publicly. So again, Pretty Ricky, a man of the people. And a man of Count It Out, and all the best to Pretty Ricky and Kill Ricky.
The Brantford Rattlesnake.
Well, what do you think here? You got a little SummerSlam game you want to play?
Yeah, it's not as much a game as here's what I did.
Can I sidebar for a sec?
Yeah.
Because leading into SummerSlam, I know you and Adam broke it down greatly last week, was Night of Champions, and I just had 2 points I wanted to make about it. Number 1, I absolutely hated CM Punk the rapper. I hated it, and I'm a huge Punk guy. It was not. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
That's fine.
I agreed with what Adam said. It's just not something I would ever see CM Punk doing. It just felt, I don't know. It just didn't feel. I didn't like it.
That's fine.
I didn't like it. It was great to hear the theme. It was great to hear the song again, though. But I also thought his raps weren't very good. He didn't say anything to me that I was like, "Whoa, that was cool." Like it was like it'd be like if you and I tried to do it.
Like I said last week, to me, it had absolutely nothing to do with CM Punk. That wasn't what the segment was about to me. What the segment was about to me was the reactions he was getting from Cena. Cena sold that segment for me.
Cena was great, absolutely.
His facial expressions. The hurt, the insult, the fact that he didn't fight back, where old Cena would have fought back right away. You never could have done that to face Cena. Face Cena would have never allowed that to happen. But this new version of Cena, he just took it, and the facial expression has told the whole story. That was the story for me, and that's what I said last.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea on paper. Like Cena does the pipe bomb, Punk does the thugonomics thing. It just just did not feel like something CM Punk would do.
Sure.
The main event I thought was really good. I did not enjoy. I thought it was too overkill on all the run-ins at the end. The reason why I bring this up is because I feel like this is becoming a pattern in Triple H main events.
I wonder who taught him how to book.
Jeff Jarrett?
He learned he learned under the Dusty Tree, and that's why we get so many dusty finishes.
But we're not getting dusty finishes though, because a dusty finish is that the title changes hands and then it doesn't change hands, right? Like
I always thought of the dusty finish as just being like a melee.
No, the dusty finish is like the world champion gets pinned, but like his foot is on the ropes, or the challenger had been disqualified before that for doing something illegal. Like here is your new champion. Oh, just kidding. That's the dusty finish.
That's funny. I was watching a match just last night that falls into that category. I was watching the Intercontinental Championship match between IRS and Razor Ramon.
That would be a dusty finish. Right? Was that Rumble 94?
I guess so. Yeah, that would be Rumble 94. I was watching it. I'm in love with the WWE Vault.
Yeah, it's great,
how they do those the story of, and you get the full matches and stuff like that. So I've been watching the story leading up to
ladder match,
the ladder match at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes, that would be Rumble 94 because Sean does the run in and hits Razor, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're getting back to this the Triple H booking main events here. Ever since WrestleMania 40, when they did like the end game, the Avengers style, everyone did the run-ins and stuff, like that was awesome. But they've done that a lot now. They've done it at least 3 or 4 different times now. We got it at SummerSlam a couple years ago with Cody and Solo. We got it again at Night of Champions. I just feel like it's becoming a running theme now of like, oh, here goes the referee. Oh, here comes one running. Here's another one here. It's just, I don't know. I think that they should kind of chill out on doing these style finishes.
As long as the run-in isn't by Travis Scott, I don't care.
I mean, the run-in could be for Charles Robinson.
Tell me that wasn't one of the greatest moments of the year. That might make my list.
Fantastic moment of the year. So that was
I love the fact too how much he's leaning into it. He's been pushing the Topps trading cards with his picture on it. Oh my god.
But I did think, other than that, I thought the match was really good. It was cool to see Punk and Cena in there. Those guys just have phenomenal chemistry. But I just, the overbooking of the finish just was a little much for me.
All right.
But this is taking us into SummerSlam now, and it's going to lead us into your game here.
So SummerSlam, right now we have nothing. We know for a fact that Jade Cargill will be taking on whoever the champion is at SummerSlam, and we know that John Cena will be taking on Cody Rhodes, being as Cody and Jade respectively won their King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. But that's all we know right now. We don't know anything else. So what I did, usually, I would just say, "Hey man, you want to try to do some fantasy booking?" But it's 2025 and I've got someone to do that for me. I asked ChatGPT to fantasy book SummerSlam. I'm going to read out the card the way that ChatGPT did it. And you and I are going to either tear apart this card of how bad it is, because sometimes AI is just horrible, but sometimes AI gets it right.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's see if they did this time. Remember, it's the very first ever 2-night SummerSlam. So I tried to put that into proxy. These matches are not in any order because the number one match here would not open night one of SummerSlam. But
do you want to go match by match, or do you want to read them all off? How do you want to do this?
I'm just going to read it the way he gave it to me.
Okay.
The ChatGPT gave it to me. So it started off with WWE Championship, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. That's a given. That's going to happen. It has to happen. There's no fantasy booking that's going to take that off the card. Here's what ChatGPT said about the match, though. He did put it, for some odd reason, as the main event of night one, where I think you and I can agree that
would be night two, for sure. Yeah.
And it says a mirror of the WrestleMania clash, but with a fresh storytelling, intensity, callbacks, and potentially a double turn where Cena turns face and Rhodes turns heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility.
Which is kind of basically what happened to last week, and I still don't know how I feel about this. I don't
It's,
know. I don't know if I want to see Cena turn face already.
I think it's kind of organically happening though.
Yeah.
And I think that his storytelling of every match, he's becoming more and more hesitant to use a dirty tactic. It's like he's having an internal battle with himself now.
Yeah. I guess the only reason I just don't want it to be like all of a sudden, yeah, I'm good now, and I'm never giving a reason why I wanted to ruin wrestling and stuff like that. All of a sudden, it's just like, okay, I'm good now. I don't
Well,
want it to be like
I
that.
feel like that there's got there he will tell a story about it for sure. I don't think it's just going to be like just kidding.
Yeah. Um, the second match written is the WWE Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, where Jade gets her shot being the queen of the ring.
How would you feel if they put the title on Trish Stratus at this Evolution show?
See, let me finish this and then I'm going to get to that because it kind of conjoins. Then it says, could feature Naomi cash in suspense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what everybody thinks is going to happen, is she's going to cash on Naomi. But can you imagine if Trish beat Tiffy and she cashed in on Trish?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she should cash in on Trish. I just think that it's a more interesting matchup of Trish and Jade than Tiffy and Jade.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah, I don't know
not
that.
I'm not feeling Tiffy time right now.
Yeah.
I just like she's solid. Like there's nothing wrong with her, but I don't think she's like firing as a champion.
But before we get there at SummerSlam, we're going to be seeing Naomi and Jade in a no holds barred match at Evolution. Do you think now? Usually, a no holds barred match would almost be like the blow off to the feud.
I
This
think
can't
it's
be the blow off though, can it?
I think it's an excuse to take maybe Naomi off TV for a little bit to make people forget about her to do a surprise cash in. I
Yeah.
also think that we are going to see Bianca Belair align with Naomi
See,
and turn heel.
I was thinking they might give Jade the Bret Hart spot, have Jade kind of get injured in that no holds barred match. And you know how Bret used to love going into matches and rumbles already injured and hobbled, and he'd go in the hobbled hero and come out with his arm drain.
I don't know. I don't know if
That's
Jade's the one to pull a Bret Hart spot of
well, and
anything.
that's it. Because you look at her and you're like, you don't see a weak horse, right? Ever.
No, I think Jade needs to look strong. I think that they will put the title on her, but I do think we see a Naomi cash in. I think that is I
So
think
those
that's
are
the
two
right move.
matches. Those two matches we know are happening anyways. But now we get to this is where things get weird. Randomly, so random, ChatGPT put in a match between Randy Orton and Nick Aldis.
Yeah, I
Why?
mean, they've teased it. I don't know what else you do with the guy with Randy right now.
Then a face off. It doesn't say a match, it just says a face off between Gunther and CM Punk.
See, everybody says that we're going to see Gunter and Punk at SummerSlam, and like I'm all for it, but I don't think so. Like it just why? It makes no sense because Punk pushed him once. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like we're like how like Punk is tied up with Seth Rollins still.
Yeah.
Like I
And
think
that and after what just happened, that story needs to
well
is
yeah,
going to
they
be
cost
closed.
him his
Yeah.
title shot, right?
Yeah.
Punk like I could see maybe like Punk and LA Knight against Seth and somebody.
How
Or
much do you love too that for the second time in a row, that's the second time he lost to John Cena because of Seth Rollins and that finishing move. Like
yeah.
that was basically the finish to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
I
that.
think we see LA Knight and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. I think that's where they're gonna go. And I could see like Punk against Braun Breaker at SummerSlam.
Okay, I'd be okay with that. ChatGPT
Or
says
they could blow it off and do like a Hell in a Cell or like a gimmick match between Punk and Seth at SummerSlam. But I think we're gonna see some more legs out of this feud still.
ChatGPT says that next we get some celebrity involvement, and Jelly Roll becomes involved somehow in the show.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor as well.
Sure.
That's a big get, man. That's a big get for WWE.
I guess.
It is.
I just don't have my. I this is Travis Scott all over again for me. I just don't have my finger on the pulse of who's cool in the world today.
I don't know much about his music,
if
but
you tell me he's cool, awesome.
I'm not saying he's cool.
Yeah,
I'm saying he's a big deal.
I mean, like culturally,
I don't want to be cool.
relevant.
Yeah, I don't want to be cool anymore. But this is a big get for the WWE.
Then it says mid card spectacle, possibly LA Knight stepping into the fray against Seth Rollins or Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to go. I think that Punk, LA Knight, Seth, and that group are all going to be intertwined throughout SummerSlam. I don't know what you do with Gunter though.
What? Okay, now this starts getting all AI on us. Okay, I didn't read this far, so now this is getting weird. So at the top of night 2, we get a dramatic video package that leads night 2 to a surprising in-ring return of the tribal chief Roman Reigns, setting up setting up a feud between either Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Braun Breaker.
Sure. What if? Yeah, I mean, maybe they do Punk. Maybe they do Punk and Roman against Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that could work.
I think we see a tag match. I do think we see Roman and Punk tag together at SummerSlam.
Then it says that apparently John Cena won his match in night 1, and in night 2, Cody somehow cashed in and got a rematch for night 2.
All right, well, let's just move on from that stupidity.
Yeah, that's weird. Then we got a mid-card war battle royal with NXT call-ups.
Right.
What are you doing?
We're going to scrap
GPT.
We're scrapping ChatGPT now. What do you want to see at SummerSlam, Mike?
We're losing here. I want to see something with the new bloodline.
I think we see a 6-man tag.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. If who do you see on the other side? I guess it could be LA, because LA Knight's everywhere, right?
No, LA Knight's going to be with Seth. I think we see Jimmy J and Jacob.
Jimmy J and Jake, yeah, okay.
Against Solo, Tama, and Tala, and Tuga, and Tuki, and whatever. I don't know any of their names. I'm lost on them all.
Could be an 8-man tag, and that's where Roman comes in.
Yeah, but why? Roman's done with them. Roman needs to come back and be pissed off with Paul Heyman, right?
See, that's what that was the discussion I had with Adam last week. That's what I said. I thought that's the story he has to be in. Adam seems to believe that he can come back and still be involved in the bloodline.
I was with you on that one. I thought Roman needed to be involved some way. I think that if they're going to do War Games, it should be Punk, Roman, and probably LA Knight, and whoever.
I want to see Dom defend his Intercontinental Championship because I am all about
I think title. I think AJ Styles is the guy they've got in line for that.
And I think that should happen at SummerSlam. I'll tell you, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I haven't told you this in person yet, but I've been working on a list. I want to get it done. We still have over about a month till SummerSlam.
Yeah,
and I could get this done before SummerSlam, but I was working on the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches to happen at SummerSlam.
Oh, good luck! So many good ones.
There's 20 matches to watch, and I've already gotten a lot of them done. And then I thought, isn't SummerSlam like 40 years old at this point?
Yeah, IC title does not get showcased a lot.
We've only had the IC title match at half of our SummerSlams.
I mean, you could say that about the IC title and WrestleManias. And they went through a phase where the IC title just didn't mean anything to them.
If I do this, Matt, I'm going to say this on the show right now. If I do this, this list, this IC title list, I'm going to put a very special asterisk caveat to the list. Bret Hart is disqualified.
Why? Because he has all the best matches?
Because we've talked about his matches at SummerSlam ad nauseum on this show. if you want to hear us talk about Bret Hart and Bulldog or Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect, you can just go back into the archives. We don't need to do it again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, they're guaranteed number
And
ones and twos.
because we have had a best of Bret Hart show for our SummerSlam theme. We have had a Mr. SummerSlam show. We don't talk about that show.
I do.
Where Bret Hart was in topic. We've talked about Bret Hart's contributions to SummerSlam. If I do this, this would be just like when during the WrestleMania days when we did the list of the greatest managers who aren't Bobby Heenan. Because when your number one is so obvious, why even do the list? If I do the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches at SummerSlam, number one and number two are already like people are going to turn off the show before we get to number two because they know what number one and number two are.
Huh?
You know, so Bret Hart will be disqualified from the list so I can fit other matches that we would never talk about.
Ooh, I love Bret Hart.
I know you do.
Where do we do with Gunter at SummerSlam?
All right. There's lots to do with Gunter. Let's see how his match with Goldberg goes first. I want to see how he looks after the match with Goldberg. Make sure Goldberg didn't make him look like a fool. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll walk out with the title still after Goldberg, but I want to make sure he still looks tough after Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
That he didn't get undertakered.
No, he won't. What about a wild cards thing? What about like Penta?
I think Penta's going to be very much involved in the Paul Heyman story.
Yeah, he has been.
I think
Do we get Penta? Yeah.
You know, right now we're looking at a team of like Penta, LA Knight,
Punk,
Sami Zayn, and Punk.
Roman will be in there.
You know, those guys seem to be together in this situation. Here's a guy I want to talk about. Do we see Karrion Kross at SummerSlam? What now that he's done with Sammy? What do we see next? What's he gonna do?
I don't think so. I don't think we see Karrion Kross at SummerSlam. And I think that's going to be by design. Like you said last week, what they're doing with Karrion Kross is by design.
100%. Every last minute of it. Yeah. What about R-Truth?
Maybe Sami Zayn and Gunter at SummerSlam.
I mean,
got the history there.
After their phenomenal WrestleMania match, I'll never say no to those two guys going at it.
I think we also see Aleister Black and Damian Priest at SummerSlam. I think they've been teasing that a little bit. Fine. I don't know where you put R-Truth. There's not really much to do with him. I don't think he's on the card.
I have a guy I kind of want to see R-Truth go against because R-Truth he's right now he's still playing pretty baby face. I kind of want to see R-Truth and Drew McIntyre. I want to see them have a program together.
Looks like they've got Drew and Randy kind of tied up right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the match at Saturday night's main event. What about like a guy like Sheamus or Rusev against Gunter as well?
I keep forgetting Rusev is back.
Yeah, me too.
What do you do with Rusev in WWE right now? I don't know.
Well, they got him doing those big, like him and Sheamus just had a battle on Raw the other week. Yeah, I don't know. And then
this is hard for me because this is where my biasm comes into play. I've never been a Rusev fan.
Yeah,
the only time I enjoyed anything to do with Rusev was the Aiden English stuff. I thought Aiden English should have been the start of that situation. Listen, if you bring back Matthew Raywalt and bring back Rusev Day, I'm down with Rusev every week. Until then, I don't look at him as anything more than the guy who fucked a chick in a tank.
Do we have any secondary women title matches on the show? Do we see the women's US or the women's IC title on the show?
Not on SummerSlam, no.
You don't think either one of them, eh?
I don't think so.
Because you got Becky. Becky's doing the triple threat with Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie at Evolution. Yeah. And then, your homegirl Julia your new favorite wrestler. She's the United
Mhm.
States champion.
Mhm.
I just don't know what they do with it. Yeah.
I don't know if they do anything at SummerSlam. I don't know.
What about with Rhea or Io Sky? Do we see anything with the other women's title? Like
I think Rhea finds I think Rhea finds a place. I don't know if it's for a title, but I think Rhea finds a place
I think Rhea
on
walks
SummerSlam
into
for sure.
SummerSlam as the champion. I think we see Rhea as the champion at SummerSlam.
Why is
But
she? I don't really know the Evolution card very well. Is she getting a shot at Evolution?
I don't know if it's that Evolution, but I know there's a show coming up in Perth that I think her and Io Sky are
Oh,
gonna.
right. What show is that?
I don't know what it is, to be honest.
I think it's like one of their you know how they have at the castle and Clash in Paris
Yeah,
and all
it's
that. I
it's gonna
think
be
it's
a
one of those.
crown jewel. Crown jewel. Oh,
Crown
that's not till October though.
they're doing Crown Jewel in Perth.
Yeah, that's not till October though.
Okay. That's very odd to me because I thought the whole reason they named it Crown Jewels because it was in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I just think they like the name now.
Yeah.
Well, if I run down the Evolution card here, I guess Rhea and Io are going to be on Evolution.
I would expect as much. Well, okay, let's talk about it. Let's jump off of SummerSlam for a minute. Before we go to our list, let's jump off SummerSlam and go to Evolution for a minute. Um, what do you want to see from Evolution? Because again, just like the last time, I don't feel like they're doing significant marketing for this show.
I didn't even realize it was like this close.
Yes, that's
It's
a
this weekend,
problem.
right?
It's
Um,
it's the
I'm
second
not.
time they're doing this in 7 years, and I don't feel like they're doing enough for it.
No, I don't even like. There's not even really a main event like for it. I think
I
losing. I think
I have a few things I'd
losing.
like to see.
Well, I think losing Liv Morgan was a huge blow to this event, right? Because I think one of the
Yeah,
big matches would have been the return of the Bella Twins.
I'd
But
like
yeah,
to see two returns at this show. I think it's possibly could see the return of Paige
okay.
and the return of one Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse me?
Excuse you, indeed. I think
Sure.
this would be great to see her come back and do a shot. And if rumor is true, Chavo has found himself a job in the offices, and that would only make sense if Vicky came back the same week that Chavo did.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
that's true by the way at all. Don't quote me on that.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I guess Rhea and Io would have to be your main event, right? Like that's going to be an amazing
I
match.
would put that as the main event. Yep.
Yeah, and
We'll
then
see. I guarantee I'll watch it. I don't think they're doing enough work of promoting it. I loved the first Evolution pay-per-view. Um, I remember my son was only a couple weeks old when the first one happened, and I stayed up late with him watching the show while trying to get him to sleep. And it's a special show to me. I really enjoyed that show. And I like all women shows, which is funny because I've seen a couple people from AEW talk about how they're not promoting this properly. And like, what are they're doing an all women show and they're not even pushing it, blah, blah, blah. Well, how well did Tony promote his all women show? Oh, wait.
I mean when
keep
you have
keep
Tony
keep other fucking companies out of your mouth if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
when you have Tony Storm on your roster, you can do whatever you want. That's
Oh
my
my
theory.
god.
She's the best. I'm really looking forward to
She is
that.
the best.
You know what? Like shifting gears really quick before we get into the list, their all in show is coming together very nicely as well.
All
Uh,
in. Sorry, I mix up all in all at all time. Is all in the Toronto one or is all in the
no, all in
okay
is going to be their Texas show.
Texas? Okay.
And I mean, like the matches on this one, like first of all, Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné is going to be amazing. Like, what? You don't think this is going to be a great match?
You know how you react every time you hear the name LA Knight?
Yeah.
That's Mercedes Monet for me.
Yeah, but at least Mercedes
Garbage.
Moné is good in
Hot
the ring.
garbage.
At least she's good in the ring, though. This is going to be a great match.
I guess taste is subjective.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's a hot take to not think that Mercedes is good in the
It's a
ring.
hot take to think that LA Knight's not great in the ring.
I don't. What's the best LA Knight match? Name me three great LA Knight matches.
Maybe fucking anything Mercedes hasn't been carried through. She's the most overrated
versus
female.
Bailey.
Thank you.
Bailey didn't
Fucking
Bailey didn't carry her. They had a fucking
Bailey's one of the
banger
greatest female
match.
superstars in the world.
Well,
Now,
but
for
Mercedes Moné only competes against top tier talent though. Like she's a superstar.
no,
I'm not a huge fan of
oh,
hers, like whatever in
oh.
general, but like to compare her to LA Knight is blasphemy. I'm
I'm
gonna
only
go out
comparing
there.
the LA Knights because that's how you react when I say LA Knight. That she's my LA Knight.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't think LA Knight's great in the ring.
Yeah, but you're the only one.
I don't
Where
think
I'm,
so.
you are. LA
I'm
is one
just
of the hot. LA Knight is one of the most over superstars in the fucking
That
world.
doesn't mean he's great in the ring. Joe Hendry.
Joe Henry's good in the ring.
Name me
You
three
never,
great Joe Hendry
no,
matches.
his entire catalog in ICW.
Name me three of them.
His entire catalog in ICW.
Because you can't pinpoint three great Joe Hendry matches.
Let's move on. We have a whole list to do.
Anyways, Okada and Omega is going to be phenomenal. I'm not really too big into the Moxley Hangman death match stipulation, but I do think that Hangman main eventing is going to be good.
Moxley is so fucking boring to me.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying this title reign of Moxley's, and I think that they're just trying to stretch it out until Darby Allin's ready to come back.
Yeah.
But happy to see Speedball Mike Bailey on the card. I think that's going to be great. I love Speedball Mike
I
Bailey.
loved you hear what somebody who was it? There's a couple people made a comment about how Speedball. It's lucky that Speedball chose professional wrestling to get in because it's the only time that Bobby Lashley could be believable to beat him in a real fight. Like it's like I can't remember who it was. It was a wrestler. It wasn't just a fan. It was a wrestler. But they're like Speedball would beat would just kill Bobby Lashley in a real fight. Nobody understands how tough Mike Bailey is. I'm like, that's amazing. What high praise for that? Because I believe it.
I've heard he lays those kicks in, so.
Oh fuck.
All right, I got nothing else to say. You want to go to the list?
I can't wait for this list, man. I'm so excited for this list because when you said let's do this, I'm like, there's no way we haven't. It's such an obvious list, but we haven't done it. And it was much tougher than I thought it would be because I had it done in like 5 minutes. I'm like, there you go, there's my list. And then I'm like, oh wait, I forgot this guy. Oh wait, I forgot this guy. Oh crap. So yeah, it was a tough list.
Yeah, I mean,
throw your criteria before we start.
uh, the face paint has to be cool, obviously. Like that's a given.
Yep.
But they need to have made a mark in the industry. They need to have.
I left a massive name off my list because they're legendary. This person is legendary, but I think it's because of what they did in the ring. They just happen to wear face paint, and I think you're going to have this person on the list. But I think when you look at the face paint, it kind of sucks. So I can't wait to talk about this.
I am going to say that you need to be at least at some point a full-time face painted wrestler. So I'm sorry, Finn Balor, the Demon.
Okay,
You do not make
that makes things a little easier for me. I know where to fit in the person that I forgot because I did have Finn Balor on my list. I had her at the number 7 spot because it was 50-50. But if he's disqualified from the list, that makes things easier for me.
Well, I mean,
it was the same thing for Jeff Hardy. I'm like,
Jeff Hardy
off the list because
Jeff Hardy is a face painter full time, in my opinion.
I do not agree.
He wears face paint every match in TNA. He's worn face paint almost every match for the last probably 4 years. Jeff Hardy.
Okay. Jeff Hardy did not make my list.
Jeff Hardy, well, we'll see if he made mine, but he is definitely qualified for the list. He's been doing not only face paint, body paint as well. Like Jeff Hardy's
and that's kind of why I wanted Finn on the list because his face paint like evolves into his body and
but
it's just too bad because and I understand. I agree with you why he's disqualified from this list, but can we admit that he's probably got the coolest face paint in the world?
I would say it's definitely up there for sure.
If he was doing that full time, probably
he'd be number one. Yeah. I think so as well. At least number 2. But I mean, lasting impact in the business. Are you known for being a face painted wrestler? Match quality a little bit. like for sure. Like you've gotta have made your name in the business. Like I'm sorry, um, Papa Shango, your face paint is super cool, but
Right.
you're not making
But
my list because like you just didn't do enough in the business. You know what I mean?
sorry, Barry Darso. Not Barry Darso. I screwed up my own joke.
Well, I
What
don't know where
was
you're going with that.
what was Barry Windham's character when he
Oh, the
did
stalker.
the stalker?
The stalker, Barry Windham. I'm sorry, you did not make the list. You didn't even make an honorable mention, as a matter of fact. I might take some heat for my placement on the number seven, but I think when
Okay.
you take a look at the rest of my list, I think it's just the right place to go. You could flip-flop these two. But my number seven, you know what? I'm going to flip-flop them right now. My number seven, I am going to put Jeff Hardy in the number seven spot.
Wow. Okay.
Um, he is a face painter now. He has been a face painter for quite a long time. And he does such cool face paint as well. Like when he closes his eyes and walks to the ring and his
I like the
eyelids have
eyeballs.
eyes.
Yeah, that is very cool.
He used to do like that glow in the dark washable paint too. Do you remember that back in the day where
Mhm.
he'd come out and spray himself and he
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like covered in the shit and then it would be gone when
Probably the
he.
most second only to maybe Finn Balor. He's probably got the most creative face paint in the world
Now
for
the
sure.
reason why I put him at my number seven instead of my number six or five is because he got into the face paint later in the game.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
When you look at
Yeah.
all his big iconic
He
moments, it's not
when you
face paint
think
Jeff
of face
Hardy.
painted wrestlers, he's definitely not the first person you think of because he had an entire career before he started doing it.
Hmm.
Right?
So
Yeah.
that's the only reason he's number seven. As far as the qualifications go, I mean, you could put him in the number one spot if you want to look at the history of his career.
Sure.
But when it comes to the face paint part of it, man, I challenge. I like if you look at all of his designs of his face paint and his
Yeah.
art that he does at that, I challenge you to find somebody that is more talented at that than Jeff Hardy.
Sure.
Number seven, six, we are going with the man known as Gold
Okay.
Dust. Gold Dust
Gold,
has to be on this list.
Goldust was my number five.
Number five, okay, so
Yeah.
we're not too far off. He was originally my number seven. But I decided to flip him and Jeff Hardy at the last second.
Especially since Goldust, like when he started, it was very plain. It was just gold. That's all he had. And then it evolved through time where he would start doing cool designs. And he gets extra points for me for doing it all himself.
Hmm.
He doesn't have an
Well,
artist.
most of the guys on the list do it themselves.
True enough. But he would start telling basically stories with his face paint. And then, when he got into the artist formerly known as Gold Dust, he was doing
Hmm.
fun stuff with that. Then he goes to AEW, and now he's the Dustin Rhodes gimmick, but he's still wearing the face paint.
Just
And
like
he's
the
the
Two-Face,
half face.
right?
I love
Yeah.
it. I absolutely love it. There's no way this man cannot be on any list because, like I said, the evolution of the face paint, the stories that the face paint tells, not to mention, you want to talk like your criteria, the man is legendary.
Yeah, one of the
He
greatest
is
Intercontinental champions of all time.
one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time, one of the most underrated superstars in history. I would say, if it wasn't for his personal issues, I think he would have been one of the biggest names in WWF in the 90s.
And he's still going strong right now. He's still putting on fantastic matches in
And I love
AEW.
that he keeps putting his foot down. People keep wanting him to say, oh, you need to go. Goldust needs a retirement match. You need to go over to WWE. You need to go with your brother. You need to do this. He's like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I like where I am. Goldust is gone. You'll never see Goldust again. I like that he's just like, leave me alone. Let me do what I'm doing because I like it and I'm having fun.
Hmm.
If anybody deserved it at this point in his career, it's Dustin Rhodes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number
I love this.
five.
I had it at number five, but number six is respectable.
Number five. I might take some heat for the placement on this one, but I just think that the top four are just bigger names and did. But we're going with one of the greatest tag teams of all time, Demolition.
Remember that discussion I had a little earlier?
Yeah.
Demolition's not on my list.
How?
I don't like their face paint. It's as
What?
simple as that. I find it boring. I don't
I
find
love
anything.
their face
I don't
paint.
find anything special. I have at least a minimum of 7 people plus some honorable mentions that I think have better face paint.
Oh, I
If
disagree
we're going
strongly.
strict if we're going strictly by your criteria, are they legendary? Of course they are. Do they go down in lists as legendary superstars, legendary tag teams, legendary everything? Yes. As far as just based on their face paint, they just
Yeah.
happen to wear face paint for me.
Smash's face paint is
I just
super
that's funny.
detailed.
Yeah.
I like Axis too. It's very simple but very effective. I think that you take the face paint away from Demolition, and I don't think they're nearly as successful as they are with the face paint. That whole
Yes.
look, the music, they should just be on the list
The
for the
music,
music.
the music, the masks, everything. I just
I love it.
I agree with you that they needed the face paint. I just don't see anything special in the face paint. That's
Oh,
all.
I thought their face paint was phenomenal. I have a feeling, and I'd love to hear comments here. Yay or nay on Demolition on this list, folks? Is the face paint on
I
solely for face paint then? Does
solely for face
Demolition?
paint.
I'd love to hear some
I
comments.
think I think people will be overwhelmingly in your support, but I think if you take, I think that's all in nostalgia. Take a second and go look at their face paint, and then look at all the other face paints. They don't come close to anybody on my list.
We'll see. We'll see. So far,
Because I have a couple names I know for a fact that you're leaving off your list,
yeah.
and I'll put them up against Demolition every day of the week.
I mean, if you want to go solely just on face paint, maybe. But again, that's not just my criteria. It's the greatest face painted wrestlers of all time. So they have to be able to get it done in the ring too.
I agree.
Number four, he might not be the greatest in-ring performer of all time, but he's definitely made a mark in this industry, and it is the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he was my number 3.
Okay, yeah, number four for me, iconic superstar in wrestling, and the look of the Ultimate Warrior. His face paint was awesome. He changed it up all the time, different color schemes, different outfits. Definitely get some creativity on that one.
I looked at some other lists and stuff. You know, I think Bleacher Report is usually pretty.
Yeah, they do.
I think they do a pretty good job. They had him at number 11.
Yeah, not that. I don't agree with that at all.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I just think, look at the
number 3 for sure.
Yeah,
Warrior, when you think about face painted wrestlers, I think he's one of the first people to pop into your brain.
100% he is.
You don't get more iconic than that paint, right?
Well, a guy who did it pretty cool as well, and he had an incredible career. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Everywhere he goes, he is the Pearl of the Orient. Yeah. He is the Great Muda.
So Muda was number 4 for me.
Okay, so we just flip Warrior Muda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Muda
I think our 2 and 1 are gonna match.
Muda gets the nod for me because he's 1,000 times better in the ring than the Warrior. Yeah. I do enjoy his look a little better than Warrior. I'm just a fan of Muda.
If we were talking about wrestlers, yes, you're 100% right. When we're thinking of iconic paint, I think I gotta give Warrior just that little bit of a nudge.
Yeah, I mean, I think Warrior's paint is definitely more iconic, but as a complete body of work, I think Muda gets the nod for me.
I want to take a little sidebar for a second. Did you know that good friend of our show, Young Jay Lee, is now doing the Green Mist at shows?
I did know that.
How cool is that?
I did know that. Yeah,
cool. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that until friend of our show, Andrew Walsh, sent me a picture from the C4 show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him and Young Jay Lee in the back, and Young Jay Lee's lips are all green. And I'm like, is he doing the Mist? And Drew was like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah,
how fucking cool is that?
It's incredible. I'm a big fan of that as well. Well, my number 2, they didn't do Mist, but they were a hell of a rush.
Our number 2 and 1 definitely match.
They were a hell of a rush, the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Now, I am surprised, though, at your comment of Demolition's makeup not...
LOD's makeup was way cooler than Demolition.
I don't know, man. Hawk. Now
because
listen.
it fit them so well. Hawks was very simplistic.
Well, his WWF stuff was. His AEW stuff was more, or sorry, NWA stuff.
NWA stuff, yeah. It was very simplistic, but it fit him. It fit the character. It did its job. Animals with the spider and
Animals was crazy.
I love the LOD face paint. You'll never tell me that they're not the second greatest face paints of all time.
Their hairstyles, the spike pads, the whole look overall. And then you look at they are widely regarded as the best tag team or one of the best tag teams of all time.
Even if they weren't the best tag team in the world, which I think
they're a Mount Rushmore tag team.
They're definitely in the top 3 of the greatest of all time. Even if they weren't, though, I gotta say that they would still be the coolest looking tag team of all time.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of tag teams? Like who you think should be on a Mount Rushmore?
I mean, yeah, LOD's definitely up there. The Usos are up there. I think the Hardys have to be on there. And this is where you and I are going to differ because I know you wouldn't put them on your list, but I think Edge and Christian are on my list.
I go Dudley Boys 10 times out of 10 over Edge and Christian.
Yeah, it's so. I'm not going to argue with on that. You can take Edge and Christian off and put Dudley's on. You can take Edge and Christian off and put the Hart Foundation on.
I'll take heat for this. Yeah. Edge and Christian don't make my top 10.
I know they don't, and we've discussed this before. I respect your opinion on this because there's so many amazing tag teams in the world that there's not a wrong answer here. I'm not going to budge. I think Edge and Christian are one of the greatest in the world. As far as Mount Rushmore goes, do they deserve to be on there? It might be just a nostalgia thing for me putting them up there. The other 3, though, I think there's no.
Yeah, the other 3 I think are all locked in. What order you want to put them in, that's a different conversation. But to me, Usos, LOD, and Dudley's for me are and Hardys. They're I can't. Those 4 for me are. I don't know where to put them.
If we're talking about the greatest of all time, if we're talking favorites of all time.
Favorites is different.
It changes a little bit. You know what I mean?
Bulldogs, Hart Foundation.
They got the Hart Foundation up there. You got the Brain Busters up there.
Brain Busters for sure. Well, I think number 1 is a given, right?
I think it's a given. I mean, we already talked about his tag team partner, didn't we?
Let's give it up for Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
He's in my honorable mentions.
Of course.
I wanted to mark him out with that.
Of course, it's the man called Sting.
How could it not be? His face paint, even before he went to the dark side, he was already known for his face paint.
Surfer Sting is my favorite face paint. I love Surfer Sting because, again, he was like Warrior. Different outfits, different vibes.
Again, my love for the WWE Vault must come up. I watched the story of the NWO. I watched the story of Crow Sting, as they call it.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically him, and it starts before Bash at the Beach '96.
Yeah,
and then goes into the whole
Fall Brawl.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's a great story. If you haven't seen it, go watch it on WWE Vault. And then after that, I watched the story of NWO Wolfpack, which displays a lot of Sting as well. And seeing the evolution of Sting's face paint is so cool.
Yeah.
He not to mention, let's throw some love to his TNA work.
I was going to say Joker Sting
for sure. But not only that, some of the stuff he was doing, he started incorporating colors and stuff into his face paint.
Yeah, he'd do like the red like outline around the black. Yeah.
Now, if you run into Sting at a convention these days, he's got a beard down to his nuts.
Yeah, he's got the Jim Neidhart going, eh?
And then, but he continues the black streak down his beard,
which is great.
It's so weird, but awesome at the same time. Yeah, I don't think you get more iconic face paint than Sting's. And that could be Surfer Sting or Crow Sting.
I agree. And then his body of work, the guy's a legend. Like, Mr. WCW for sure. Like, yeah.
I was just about to ask you, which Mount Rushmores does Sting belong on?
Oh, WCW Mount Rushmore for sure.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
That's where I put him. I would say maybe even number 1.
Yeah.
I'd say
Well,
Sting,
the
Sting
cool thing about Mount
Flair,
Rushmore's the cool thing about Mount Rushmore's is you don't need to number them. You just need to put
Sting,
four up there.
Sting Flair, Goldberg, Hogan for me, maybe. Off the
That's
top of my
fair.
head, off the top of my
That's
head.
yeah, that's fair. I would love to take Goldberg off and put Page, but
Yeah, DDP is in
I don't know.
contention, but
Yeah,
man, Goldberg changed the business, right?
yeah, you're not wrong.
It would be like leaving Steve Austin off of WWF Mount Rushmore, like Attitude Era Mount Rushmore, right? Like Goldberg was that guy. So
I've got I've I've got
I
a lot of fun
know,
honorable mentions.
well, I know here now for a fact that you did not have Jeff Hardy or Demolition on your list.
Agreed.
Did the rest of our list line up? Did you have Muda on your list?
I did have Muda. Yeah, remember we just switched Muda and Warrior.
Okay, so
Yeah,
who are the two names that you had on your list then that I did not have on my list?
I'm not going to give you shit for having my not having my number 7 on your list. This is maybe a personal preference, but my number 7 is Asuka.
Okay.
I love the work she's been doing, and I understand because she hasn't been doing it long.
Yeah,
She's only been doing it a couple years.
Kind of scares me a little bit.
But I absolutely fucking love it. If you go back to watch some of her work in Japan, she was doing it over there as well. And I love her face paint game. It's amazing. And you know, if we go to your criteria, you want to talk about getting it done in the ring?
Yeah, she's one of the best.
I don't think we talk enough about how Asuka belongs in that conversation with Charlotte and Becky and or Charlotte and Bailey and some of the others in the greatest of all time when it comes to women's wrestlers.
1000%.
She definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
Can I take a guess on what your other one is?
Yeah.
Vampiro?
Vampiro is my very first honorable mention.
Okay, then that was my guess. So
okay, my guy had a hell of a run when it came to his heel work. I don't think he gets enough praise for his heel work, and he's known for his face paint because that's all he ever did. But my number 6 was Doink.
Okay, yeah.
I think you need to talk about Doink when you talk about face paint. Evil Doink especially was
great.
A staple in those early 90s storylines. He was amazing. And when you talk about face paint,
he's a top 10. He's a top 10 for me.
We have to talk about, yeah.
He's a top 10 for me. The hardest one that I had that I really wish I could have put on the list was Bull Nakano.
Bull's on my honorable mentions.
I really would have liked to have put Bull Nakano on my list. And we said Vampiro already as an honorable mention.
Vampiro, yeah. I've got the Boogeyman.
Yeah, not for me.
Really?
No, it wasn't.
Look at that face thing. Come on.
No, not doing it. I'll give you a deep cut. How about the Great Kabuki?
I have that written down. Yeah.
Or Aja Kong.
Aja Kong I have as well. Who do I got here? I got Luna Vachon.
Yeah, Luna I had as an honorable mention.
I have the Missing Link.
Missing Link I also had down as an honorable mention.
This man almost made my list. This close to being my number 7. Kamala.
Kamala was very hard to leave off the list as well.
Your favorite wrestler of all time, Ed Leslie, is on for the Zodiac.
Okay, yeah, not even an honorable mention for me. Fuck you, Bruce Beefcake. We mentioned Papa Shango already. We mentioned Goldust, so give some love to Stardust. We said Abe Knuckleball Schwartz already.
Yeah. Phantasmo.
Not for me, absolutely not. Not even an honorable mention. We could talk about Umaga, though. I would give him an honorable mention.
Not even an honorable mention for me.
Why?
Boring.
Umaga was fucking amazing.
Umaga was his face paint's boring.
Yeah.
In that case, put on Tensei.
Who?
Fucking Tensei.
Absolutely not. But I will put Adrian Street on my honorable mentions.
Damn right you will. And Adrian Adonis.
He just did eyeshadow. He didn't do.
Yeah, but it was legendary, man.
How about Hakushi?
Only because he did the full body.
This was a cool look. And my last honorable mention is Darby Allin.
Yeah, sure.
That's why he is the last honorable mention.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm sticking with my list. I like it.
I feel like we're missing somebody. I just can't think of who though.
I'm sure we are. If somebody will tell us, leave a comment, tell us who we're missing.
I love it. All right, well, that was a great list. I do enjoy your list. I do think Doink should have had a place on there, but
that's fair.
With that said, leave in the comments. Let us know how you feel about Doink as a top 7 face paint.
Doink or demolition? How about
demolition, that? Doink or demolition? The match you never thought you needed in your life. Doink versus demolition. Tell me who wins.
I like it.
I'm working. I don't know if it's going to be the one I talk about, but I'm working on a SummerSlam list. You should have that in the next week or two.
I got a couple ideas for SummerSlam.
You've got a lot of lists in the can, so we got a lot of great content coming up. Stay tuned to all our social media to get information on Cowbell Championship Wrestling happening in Lake Ontario on August 17th. Every week on this show, we're gonna be giving you a little bit more about the show. We did a match drop this week. If you missed it, for some reason, you're just picking up the show now. We did talk about Young Jay Lee versus El Reverso. Next week, we'll probably give you another match. But every day, check out our social medias because something might pop up. You don't know. We might be telling you a little bit more every day on social medias.
Absolutely.
This show is huge. It's $20 for adults. It's $10 for kids. Bring your own chair. It's on the East Lawn of Cowbell Brewery. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Make sure you're there August 17th.
And you may be the ring announcer. Is this what we've talked about?
We'll talk about it. I gotta brush off my pipes and we'll see.
We'll see. Either way, Mike will be there. I'll be there.
I'll be there. You'll be there. Adam has guaranteed that he's going to be there in some capacity. So a lot of the Counting Out team is going to be there. So come say hi. Check out Counting Out with Mike and Tyler. Check out Counting Out Cowbell Brewery. And of course, stay for all the amazing wrestling that's going to happen that day.
Absolutely. We've got a great lineup put together.
And until then, keep listening to Counting Out with Mike and Tyler every single week. Give us a like, give us a subscription, and keep listening. Tell your friends about it, tell your grandma about it, tell your dog about it. And until then, you've been counted out.
Cheers.